Hi, my name's Keith Cooper, Northlight Images. The other day I was asked a question about feeding sheet canvas into printers. Now the example I've got here is the Canon Pro 300 and the canvas I've got here is an HP Artist Matte canvas. Now I've got boxes of this stuff because I was sent it as samples years ago when I tested an HP printer and it's A3 Plus and it prints very well, and I've got lots of video. Most printers that I test, I'll run a sheet or two of this through, make a profile, try it or something like that. But somebody said to me, I'm having real difficulty feeding canvas. They were cutting it from a roll and it just wasn't going in properly. Well, one of the problems with canvas is its natural sort of floppy nature. So it's very difficult to actually push the paper in, or the media in I should say, because sometimes printers need a little bit of a nudge at the top with some media just to get the rollers to engage and draw the media through. So I've got this one here. First thing, if you're cutting canvas off a roll, leave it overnight to flatten. There are lots of ways of doing it. You can put it on a table, put some books on it or something like that. Just be careful, protect the surface. But the paper, or the canvas, is properly flat, hasn't got strong curl in it and something like this, it's going to be an awful lot easier to load. Now, the normal way of loading, like a paper in this one, and so I'm just using this Pro 300 as an example, is to put that in there and let that feed in. Now, with this particular one, because the flat lifts up here, it rests quite flat. There's there's no great difficulty with it. Some printers, if you're on a smaller printer, you may have difficulty getting it to lay flat like that. That will work absolutely fine on this. But trick I found, and this works for lightweight papers as well, is this is a sheet of cardboard. Thin card, but it came out of a pack of paper. And what I would do is put it behind the sheet. There we go. So I've got my sheet of cardboard and I've got my sheet of canvas. Make sure that they line up. The canvas is lined up with the guides there. Put that, set that to canvas, and that will produce a lot better feeding. You get much better feeding, fewer misfeeds. It's easier when it's on a sheet of canvas like this to actually hold it up, or on a sheet of cardboard I should say, to hold it up and let it just fall in gently like that. So that's how I deal with awkward papers. Works with very thin papers as well. Sometimes even just a sheet of ordinary paper behind it. But I've got a piece of card the same size as the canvas. Make sure that canvas is properly flat. Make sure the canvas doesn't have curl at the corners and things like that. And as long as your printer accepts the thickness of the canvas that's going through it, and many do, because this canvas is not that thick, or certainly not this one here, you should have no problem with it. If you do get issues with it, as I say, the not quite picking up, just lifting it up a bit like that, and maybe just pushing a bit of pressure with your finger on it there will just encourage it to feed. And that will canvas will come through and print. That works for loads of printers, different sizes, but the key thing is if you're cutting canvas to shape, make sure you flatten it properly first. That should help. Thanks to the person who asked me about this, because I'd forgotten this aspect of doing things. So if you've got any other questions, related little bits and pieces about printing, the practicalities of it, technical issues, what works, what doesn't work, please feel free to ask, because that's what often gives me the idea for these short videos. Thanks for watching.